my name is Lorenz, and welcome everyone to my final talk on my senior project. So for me, the toughest part about this project was figuring out what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to do something I was passionate about, but I also knew I wanted to do something in which it was a bit of a culmination of my scholastic experiences up to this point. So I looked at my time in two different school systems that I've been in Auburn and here in Bow. And one difference that I realized was that here in Bow, I had a lot more opportunity to get involved in things like clubs, organizations, and team sports. So I took one of the passions that I got involved in, being ping pong, and I combined it with the fact of getting involved and did my senior project. So for my essential question, in order to answer this project question, I decided to ask this: what effect does it have, what effect does being part of a club, team, or organization have on an individual? And what I came up with an answer was that it's all about relationships. Relationships are really something that we take for granted every day. We just think, oh, this person's my friend or whatnot, but in reality they have a lot more meaning than that. There was a 75-year study done by Harvard, one of the longest studies in the world, and what they did is they took hundreds of people, hundreds of subjects, and they studied their life. And the one clear message they got, and the message I'm going to try to get to you guys today, is that relationships is what keep us happier and healthier. And the importance of relationships, not with just other people, but rather with just activities in general. It might sound a little weird to have a relationship with an activity, but relationships with both activities and with people are really the key and the point I'm going to try to drive home with you today. For my event, I ran a table tennis tournament, and instead of telling you about the details, I wanted to show you about how it went. All right, well, let's play some ping pong. Okay, well, it's buffering, so... It's buffering again. So I'll take this short little time to say what I learned from my event. From my event,
Wait a second. Wait, is this the second game or just
Alright, so what I learned from this event was that there are many opportunities to get involved. This is something that we usually think of here in this country as something we just play in our basements, but it is really something that you can get involved in throughout your community. And for my community connection, I volunteered at the Concord Boys and Girls Club. And my one takeaway from this experience was how much these kids learn from going to this club. Now, the person who set up this community connection for me was Mrs. Joubert of the Concord Boys and Girls Club, and what she told me when I interviewed her was that they learn how to do many things. They learn how to stay disciplined, they learn how to conduct themselves, they learn responsibility, and they also learn how to create relationships, is what she told me, which really tied into my thesis. So all these experiences, my event, my research, and my community connection, led me to this thesis statement. Getting involved in clubs, teams, and organizations benefits individuals by improving their psychological state, helping introducing them to new ideas and distracting them from the challenges they encounter every day by creating these new relationships. And one of these aspects is improving the psychological state. By creating relationships, it gives someone more of a purpose. It gives them a goal to work towards. By doing this, by creating these new relationships, the relationships create new purpose. And for the graph here, I use this graph to support this point. This is a study done on boys and girls clubs across America, and as you can see, for club members who were more engaged, the numbers were higher for important statistics such as skipping 0 days of school or going to a 4-year college. In terms of the introduction to new ideas, a lot of times what happens in our lives is the best moments are never expected. We never see them coming, the best moments. And this is a perfect example of that. When you get involved in something, a lot of times people don't want to get involved in it because they're afraid of what's going to happen. They don't know what's going to happen. But that's a good thing. Because of the fact that the best things in life often aren't expected. This quote I have here is about this woman named Melissa Mills. And her story in the book I read about her was that her parents forced her to be part of a choir. She didn't want to be part of this choir in any way, shape, or form. But by the end of the experience, she loved it so much that she ended up becoming a choir instructor later in life. And my last point in my thesis is that when you get involved in something, it distracts you from your challenges in life. This man up here, Sam Burns, died at a very young age. He had a very rare disease called progeria. He knew he was going to die at a young age due to this disease. But that didn't stop him. He wanted to be a drummer in his high school band. But the harness was too heavy for him. So what he ended up doing is he worked together with an engineer, and he made a harness light enough so that he could do it. He could be a drummer in this high school band. And what he ended up saying about his experience in the high school band is that it superseded the threat of progeria. It superseded the idea of death. It superseded the fear of dying for him. Now, if everyone in this room can find something, maybe not to that extent, but find activities and people that can influence you almost as much as Sam Burns did, that's going to be the secret to happiness. So I ask you, what are you willing to fight for? Do you have things in your life, activities, people, that are willing to push you every day towards your goals in life? Are there people you're willing to fight for? I hope so. And if you do already have some things or some people like that, I encourage you to strengthen those relationships and create even more ones. Because that's what I learned about myself through this project, is that, yes, I have stuff I'm willing to fight for, but I wish I had more. I want to try to get more. I want to get more involved as I go off to college. I want to get more involved in my surroundings. So I want to give a special thank you to Mr. Godler for being my mentor, Mrs. Autumn for being my teacher, and Mrs. Juber of the Concord Boys and Girls Club for setting up my community connection. Any questions about any part of my project? Oh. All right. Thank you.